Hi there. If you're watching this video, that means you have a student in my Introduction to Aviation and Aerospace class. My name is Mr. Gordon, and I'm very excited. I hope you and your student are excited too, because this is the first time Monarch has ever offered this course, Introduction to Aviation and Aerospace. So what the heck is Introduction to Aviation and Aerospace? Good question. We're figuring that out right now. I'm only partially kidding. The course is actually following a curriculum designed by the AOPA, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. It's intended to help expose students to the field of aviation and get them interested in careers in aviation. Our hope is that this will pave the way to future classes, more advanced classes in aviation, especially in unmanned aerial systems, which we sometimes call drones. So for this class, it's going to be a broad overview of aviation with kind of an engineering focus. A lot of what we're going to do is hands-on activities aimed at understanding the engineering involved in designing things like airplanes, hot air balloons, and others. So we'll have some really cool opportunities. We'll get an overview of aviation in the country right now, some of the history of it, but we'll really focus on what makes things fly and how do we understand how to work on making them better. This is a huge field for future employment. A lot of folks in the aviation field are retiring right now, so this is a great opportunity to get into it. There's everything from pilots to aerospace engineers, to ground crew, to mechanics, all kinds of different job paths that students can explore further. So we'll get them an idea of what those career paths are, what students can do to get to those career paths, and just what they should know about aviation in general. And that's what this class kind of is all about. A couple of things to know about me. My name, again, is Mr. Gordon. I am a science teacher here at Monarch. And so I have degrees in environmental science and biology. I can't claim to be an expert in aviation, but I sure do love talking about aviation and learning about aviation. And there's plenty of science involved in it. A couple of tips I have for parents who often ask, what can I do to help make sure my student succeeds? First tip is attendance is super important. That's going to be the biggest thing for this class. This class should not be particularly difficult. So if your student's attendance is good, they probably will not have any trouble getting the grade that they want. Second thing is sleep, right? And that's a thing that I emphasize to teenagers of all ages and their families. Sleep is critical. You can't learn if you're too tired. So make sure you're getting that sleep. Parents, check on whether or not your students need to have their devices taken out of their bedrooms so that they can make sure they're getting good sleep. That's the number one reason why students tend to not get sufficient sleep. Another thing you can help with is make sure your students get good practices around using their cell phones. So here in class, what we try to do is park cell phones in designated slots at the beginning of class, so the students only access them at the end of class unless there's some specific reason for them to do so for the class. You can help out by making sure that if you need to get a message to your student, you call the front desk of the school and they'll run a message up here rather than trying to text them during class time. But also at home, you can teach them good practices like, hey, if you've got homework to do, focus on the homework, leave the device outside of the room, take a break and go look at the device so that they can focus a little better. Other things that I sometimes recommend, access time is a huge one. Right. And here at Monarch, we have access time Thursday mornings, 8:35 to 9:35 in the morning. So there's no class for that first hour on Thursday. That's when all of us teachers are sitting in our classrooms waiting for students to come ask us for help. We also sometimes will have access time on Mondays during what we call MOHI Mondays between second and third periods. And then, of course, you can set up another time where I could meet a student. And it's important to also know that you can always email me at any time. My email address is eric.gordon@bbsd.org. Go ahead and email me, students or parents. Whenever you have a question, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm always happy to help. So again, I'm really excited to have you, students, and as part of this class, and of course, parents and families. I hope you're also really excited to be involved in this. This is an elective class. It's a full year-long class. And students will get CTE, Career and Technical Education credit for it. And I think it's just going to be a spectacular exploration of a really fascinating topic. My hope is that we'll have some great guest speakers and field trips. I'm still working on that with COVID restrictions. We can't be sure on exactly what we're going to do, but we'll do our best to make this as interactive, hands-on, and interesting as possible. As always, please drop me a line if you've got any questions, comments, concerns, and I look forward to meeting you in person.